Are we there yet?
You know what lane to get in?
We left Tarpon Springs this morning, and it took us about 2.5 hours or 150 miles. From here, we're on our way to Fort Myers. We drove across the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, which goes across the Tampa Bay. This is also a toll bridge, so you have to pay when you get off. The traffic was very heavy this day, and the wind was blowing hard. You could feel it hitting the motorhome. The bridge is about 4.14 miles long, and it's 430 feet high. Staying at Fort Myers RV Resort, which is a 55 and older resort. Our favorite amenities were exercise room, pool table, and the shuffleboard. Our campsite was right on the canal. We love to see the birds and the manatees floating by.
How are y'all?
I'm good.
I'm with her, so
Okay.
whatever she says goes. That's just the way it works.
The easiest way to do it.
Easy enough.
Now, the wind's been really rough, so it's gonna
Oh
have to
boy, has it?
hang on to the motorhome.
We ate at Rib City Barbecue. The ribs and the barbecue were delicious, and having friends to share it with made it even better. We made it to Fort Myers RV Resort. The campground had all three of us set up at different camp spots, so we had them put us near the canal all together. It was perfect for sitting out by the fire pit at night with cornhole and snacks. There was lots of birds and manatees that swam by.
3-hour tour.
We took the Key West Express from Fort Myers to Key West. It was a 3.5-hour trip there and a 3.5-hour back. The boat will hold 511 passengers and has 10-member crew. The price of the boat ride to Key West was $155 for seniors. We had to go slow coming out of the bay. We got settled in for our 3.5-hour trip to Key West. We had some snacks, and the boys wanted to go check out the boat. 3.5 hours is a long time on a boat just sitting around.
Didn't come back home last night. No. Willie used to hang out in the hood, and some of them were up to no good. They told him if he did this job tonight.
Any other questions?
Do you usually have it on autopilot, or do you have a help?
We have two captains. Was that the question?
But is it usually on autopilot? Or
It's
do you
actually at the captain's discretion. On flat cold seas, they usually manually drive it. We do have autopilot where you just put it in and go. I know a lot of the captains prefer to drive it themselves. That way they can feel the waves, feel the way that they ride. Because we want to give people the smoothest ride possible. And when it does actually have, like, I want to say ride control, where it actually, and it's nothing to just the trim tabs, but if we get hit by a wave broadside, it'll actually counteract that. So it makes it a smoother ride a little bit. Yep, a little bit for the roll, which the golf side, we don't feel much of a roll, it's more of a wind chop. So, I mean, whatever roll we do get, it does good. And believe it or not, there's actually no wheel in the wheelhouse.
joystick?
It's a joystick. It's just like playing Pac-Man. So, If you have any other questions, let me know. And if you're actually interested,
We had to
pay
wait.
attention when he docks. The captain just walks right out and he doesn't have a controller. He just docks it with the controller. So, you'll see him do it right there.
Okay.
Of course. If you have any other questions, like I said, let me know. Don't hesitate to ask.
We love to ask questions.
Thank you. Getting all the celebrities.
We finally put our feet on dry land again. We came through the Flagler Station and took pictures of the Key West sign. Now just to make sure we come back here this afternoon. It looks like we're going to have a busy afternoon ahead. Lots to do. We ate lunch at Harpoon Harry's before starting out sightseeing. We all had breakfast foods. We purchased tickets on the Old Town Trolley tours. We made 13 stops where you can get off and on. Tickets were $57.81 each. We did see the roosters and chickens and baby chicks. The trolley driver gave us a good speech on the history of Key West. He said Key West used to be much smaller. They dredged the rocks out of the Gulf and built more land, doubling its size.
Well, this didn't really sit well with Joe. He didn't like hearing this at all. So he told his friends, his patrons, his customers, everyone who was there that day, grab your parcels, grab your drinks, grab whatever you can. We're moving across the street. And that's exactly what they did. Well, Ernest Hemingway happened to be best friends with Joe Russell. And he also happened to be there that day. So he says, Joe, you know, I've spent a lot of money and it all went down this drain right here. I believe this belongs to me. After he said that, he ripped the urinal, off the men's bathroom wall, put it on his back, hauled it up the street, and threw it in his garden at the Ernest Hemingway house, where it still is today. Just one of our many, many stories of the man, the legend, Ernest Hemingway.
We went to Margaritaville to get some souvenirs for our son.
Best cheeseburger on the island. And right over here, see this yellow? He's been on several Food Network shows, and he's the brilliant man who had the idea of taking a slice of key lime pie, jamming a popsicle stick in it, dipping it in chocolate, and then freezing it. A true Key West treat. Really, really good stuff over there. I've been here 12 years, still give me a slice about once every other week. Then next we're going to be looking at this faded brick building coming up over here on the left. This is our Hemingway Rum Distillery right here. But originally, this was one of William Curry's personal tobacco warehouses, and it's one of the few buildings here in town that did not burn to the ground in our Great Fire of 1886, a fire that ravaged this island, destroying 2/3 of it in the process. It survived because of its metal roof, metal doors, and brick structure there. These days, though, as I said, it is the Hemingway Rum Distillery, and you guys can actually go in there and sample all of their rum for free. You can get a bunch of more free rum if you go a half a block this way on the right at the first legal rum distillery. And if you combine all those samples and all those samples, guys, you get about 1 tall glass of free rum. Just saying. Little local trade secret there for you.
And yet we're 130 miles to the nearest Walmart.
We went to the southernmost point of the continental USA. It's only 90 miles from Cuba. We got turned around on ourselves and got lost. We were totally exhausted when we got back to the boat. If we ever do this again, we would have stayed a couple of days there before we went back. There's so much to see to just go for one afternoon. Coming back to Fort Myers on the boat, there was a strong headwind and waves 6 feet high. We also had key lime pie, which was really delicious.
That's all, folks.